Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Your Majesty, can you understand in advance how many worshipped master gods there are in our empire? So we can prepare presents. The yellow gold prophet pressed his palms together and asked piously, this. Zhou Zhou hesitated for a moment before saying with a smile, then you'll have to bleed properly. Our Blazing Sun Empire has a total of 18 official worshipped master gods, excluding this emperor and his clone. If you want to give gifts one by one, you have to prepare a total of 18 gifts. Su Yuan and the others immediately widened their eyes. Excluding His Majesty and His Majesty's avatars, there were 18 master gods who were worshipped by the gods. Including their avatars and His Majesty's, wouldn't that be a total of 30 worshipped master gods? Was this King high-level empire? Many overlord-level lord factions didn't have so many worshipped master gods, right? You're shocked? If they were told that Warm Master God Terrence and the other 4 of the 10 major gods were also his future worshipped master gods, they would definitely be even more shocked. We'll prepare a gift for them. After hesitating for a few seconds, the yellow gold prophet said firmly. Su Yuan and the others also expressed the same. Even though giving out a total of 18 gifts was a considerable expense for them, that was all. They were all master god tiers who had lived for countless years. They still had this bit of savings. Zhou Zhou nodded. Then, he was just about to tell him about today's chaotic divine demons war when he heard a loud boom outside. In the next second, 2 world-shaking divine might fluctuations erupted from the direction of the reincarnation sacred palace and spread wantonly in all directions. Right on the heels of that, a white light soared into the sky. In the light, one could vaguely see countless Blazing Sun Empire soldiers practicing their military formations, fighting bloody battles with the enemy, or attacking cities and territories. In the starry sky, the resplendent stars connected to each other to form a constellation that looked like a war chariot, shining brightly in the starry sky. Then, another resplendent golden sword light soared into the sky. Inside and around the sword light, there were boundless universes that were vaguely created and destroyed. They could create and destroy countless boundless universes with a single thought. They were as complicated and vast as the stars in the sky. After the sword light rushed into the starry sky, it actually formed a vacuum around the starry sky. No star could appear in this starry sky. Only the resplendent sword light that appeared and disappeared proved the danger and horror of this place. When Zhou Zhou saw this scene, a smile appeared on his face. When the gods of the myriad worlds saw the abnormality in the starry sky, they were immediately shocked. What's going on? A god spirit has advanced to become a master god tier, and it seems like 2 master god tiers have advanced at the same time. Which top-notch bloodline race has produced a master god tier? The original spirit race, the chaos gods race, or the shepherd's god race? In my impression, only the original spirit race appeared once 150,000 years ago. At that time, the 2 new master gods had already become the pillars of the original spirit race. Quick, quick, quick. Let's go and see what faction it is. To be able to have 2 new master god tiers at the same time? From the looks of it, the source should be the High Continent. I wonder which overlord-level lord faction in the High Continent it is. The gods immediately looked in the direction of the source of the light, and then their expressions immediately became dumbfounded. This was because they were shocked to see that the 2 newly advanced master god tier pillars of light actually came from the Blazing Sun Imperial capital. 2 new master god tiers had actually appeared in the capital. Could the Blazing Sun Empire be blessed by the supreme blessing? Why was it so easy for a master god tier to be born? At this moment, superstition or not, many master god tiers, true god tiers, and even weaker god spirits had the idea of going to the Blazing Sun Empire to cultivate. What to do? In just a few days, 2 ridiculous incidents involving 2 newly advanced master god tiers had happened. Then, after he joined the Blazing Sun Empire, there might be a chance that such a good thing would happen to him next time. Even if he could not use it, it was good to bask in it. At the same time, the 3 top bloodline races, the original spirit race, the chaos gods race, and the shepherd's god race, as well as the other high-level bloodline races, immediately had ugly expressions on their faces when they learned that two new true god tiers had appeared in the Blazing Sun Empire. This common people's regal is clearly not participating in this race leader event anymore, but he still causes such a huge commotion every day. Now, he already has so many master god tier subordinates. In addition, he has Supreme God Realm trump cards. The original spirit race, Source's expression was uncertain. There's no need to join forces with those high-level bloodline races as soon as possible to eliminate the common people's regal in one fell swoop. We can't give him any more time to grow. The Chaos Sea. A white-haired beast whose entire body was filled with the aura of the curse of fate and whose face was blurry like a mosaic stood in the center of the Chaos Sea. The turbulent airflow here was extremely dense. Even Master God tier existences would be injured if they entered. However, this white-furred beast did not seem to care about this. In fact, its expression was a little satisfying. He was the strongest expert of the Chaos God's race. The Heaven-Cursed Beast. This was an existence that even the Supreme Will was uttered to be jealous of. The curse on him was a curse personally bestowed by the Supreme Will. Later on, in order to suppress the curse on him, the Heaven-Cursed Beast sealed itself in the deepest part of the Chaos Sea. Unless he encountered a genocidal event, he would basically not leave this place. At most, he would convey orders to his race here. The moment Bai Yun and Qi Xiantian became Master God, the Heaven-Cursed Beast slowly opened its eyes. A lord of all races from the human race can actually reach this stage. What an amazing little guy. Bai Zhe, the Heaven-Cursed Beast called out. Patriarch, I'm here. A small white dog suddenly appeared in front of the Heaven-Cursed Beast, sticking out its tongue and laughing. Order the Chaos God's race to kill the common people's regal at all costs, even if they have to give up on the second stage of the race leader activity. In short, we can't let the Supreme Will have such an outstanding Lord of all races as a candidate for him, as the Lord of all races. Yes, Patriarch. Bai Zhe left. Soon, a certain god's crazy laughter filled with hatred came from the depths of the Chaos Sea. The current Patriarch of the Shepherd's God race, the Lord of the Holy Court, Di Huang, was reviewing the administration of the Shepherd's God race. At this moment, he seemed to sense something. He looked in the direction of the Supreme Continent and frowned slightly. You've grown so fast. My descendants, other than Zhutian who has some potential, none of the other descendants can do it. He casually picked up a Golden Commander's seal and threw it into the air in front of him. He saw the Golden Commander's seal dissolve in the air and disappear. With the brocade pouch I made myself, there should be no problem now. After saying that, Di Huang did not care about anything else and continued to get busy. The phenomenon in the starry sky lasted for more than half an hour before gradually disappearing. Then, two streams of light quickly flew out of the Reincarnation Sacred Palace and immediately flew out of the Divine World, arriving in front of Zhou Zhou. Battle Formation Divine Master, Bai Yun greets Your Majesty. Heavenly Sword Sage, Qi Xiantian greets Your Majesty. Bai Yun and Qi Xiantian said respectfully and excitedly. Congratulations to the two of you for becoming Master Ultimate Gods. With your appearance, our empire will definitely be like a tiger with wings. Zhou Zhou said with a smile. Bai Yun and Qi Xiantian smiled, but they did not show any conceit. Currently, the number of Master God tiers in the Blazing Sun Empire has already exceeded 2 digits. In addition, there were 4 Master God level existences and their Emperor, the number 1 true God below the Supreme God realm, present. They really could not think of what qualifications they had to be conceded. Of course, he was naturally proud. Becoming a clan-protecting expert like the Master God tier, in this environment where Supreme God Realm experts and even stronger experts did not appear easily, they could already call themselves actual experts. People like Qi Xiantian could even call themselves saints in the immortal Tao civilization and be respected by all races. Who wouldn't be proud? On Zhou Zhou's side, after sensing the change in the potential of his subjects, a smile subconsciously appeared on his face. This was because he could sense that in the Blazing Sun Empire, the lowest potential of the human race had already reached the extraordinary tier advanced grade. Extraordinary tier advanced grade potential. I'm about to advance to epic tier elementary grade potential. Zhou Zhou sighed. Then, his expression turned solemn again. This was because advancing to the epic tier realm was the first bottleneck for a life form's potential advancement. The next time he wanted to advance the potential of humans to the epic tier realm, he would probably need at least 2 new Master God tiers. Most of the main generals under me have the Master God tier inheritance. Coupled with their potential and the help of the Reincarnation Sacred Palace, it won't be a problem for them to become Master Gods in the future. In the future, it shouldn't be a problem for humans to reach the God Spirit, true God tier, or even the Lord tier of top bloodline races like the original Spirit race. For me, what I need most is always time. Zhou Zhou muttered to himself. Then, his gaze landed on Bai Yun and Qi Xintian again. As newly advanced Master God tiers, this emperor will naturally not mistreat you. Keep this. He threw 2 world rings over after he finished speaking. After Bai Yun and Qi Xintian received it, they immediately entered it with their divine senses. Then, they saw the entire set of Master God tier divine artifacts inside. Among them, Bai Yun's Master God divine artifact could increase the power of the military formation, and her weapon was a set of Master God tier elementary grade bows and arrows. Apart from a body armor, Qi Xuantian's Master God divine artifact was a Master God tier elementary grade sword down nomological divine sword. The 2 of them looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. This set of Master God tier divine artifacts was simply too suitable for them. You can choose to keep 3 of the Master God tier divine artifacts that you have obtained for yourselves. The remaining 3 will be considered loaned to you by this emperor. In the future, if you want them, you can use military merits or contribution points to exchange for them. You have the priority to exchange for them. Zhou Zhou said with a smile. Bai Yun and Qi Xintian were his old teammates. Especially Bai Yun, who had been following him since he was at his weakest. She had contributed a lot. He naturally couldn't give her a mere Master God tier divine artifact like how he treated the newly joined Master Gods. Of course, he could not give them all. Otherwise, what would he be rewarded with in the future? 3 was just right. And what he said did not hide from Su Yuan and the others. After Su Yuan and the others heard it, they could only be envious. They did not have any indignant thoughts. How could a rookie like him, who had not contributed an inch, compare to an old man with outstanding military achievements? You're just in time. Get to know each other. This is the new worshipped Master God who has just joined our Blazing Sun Empire. You'll be working together from now on. Zhou Zhou turned around and introduced. Hearing this, Bai Yun and the rest immediately got to know Su Yuan and the rest. There was no conflict of interest between the 2 sides. Coupled with the fact that they were going to work together in battle in the future, they quickly became familiar with each other. Zhou Zhou looked at how they knew each other and smiled. As such, he now had a total of 25 Master Gods, including the 6 avatars, Terrence, and the other 4 Master God tiers. There were a total of 36 God tier supremacies. A total of 36 lords with God tier combat strength. Among all the Overlord level Lord factions, they should be considered above average, right? Zhou Zhou thought. Thereafter, he temporarily didn't let Bai Yun return to Cerulean Planet. This was because he planned to save the remaining 2 Gospel of Homecomings as a backup in case of special circumstances. He didn't want to use them easily. Therefore, he got Bai Yun to lead the army of the Blazing Sun Empire again to prepare for today's Chaos Divine Treasure War and Territory Expansion War. And he came to Mugu. After Wu Xin led the Homeland Defense Army to eliminate all the nest monsters in the Scarlet Brood Mother, he successfully obtained 8,000 trillion copies of the Yellow Talisman Dao Soldier recruitment books, 8,000 trillion copies of the Violent Storm Spirit recruitment books, 8,000 trillion copies of the Yellow Talisman Dao Soldier class change certificate, and 8,000 trillion copies of the Violent Storm Spirit class change certificate. Then, he and Wu Xin split into 2 groups. One group went to change their professions and arrange for all the soldiers who had successfully changed their professions to join the main battle army of the Blazing Sun Empire. On the other side, Zhou Zhou arrived at the Gate of Summoning. After spending 100 high-tier deity-level advanced grade divine crystals, he recruited 1.6 new recruits from the capital units in one go. On the other side, Zhou Zhou arrived at the gate of summoning. After spending 100 high-tier deity-level advanced grade divine crystals, he enlisted 1.6 new recruits from the capital units in one go. This time, he still did not summon the legendary dragon. However, Zhou Zhou was already very calm this time. He was not disappointed at all. Previously, I had a total of 12 capital units, 682,350.8,066.11,004,829 soldiers, 28.25,003,615 god spirits, 8,071 true god tiers, and 28 master god combat strength. Now, including these new recruits and dragons, we have 15 capital units, 268.2 trillion 417.5 trillion 32.78 million 1,495 soldiers, 28,919,615 god spirits, 8,737 true god tiers, and 36 master god combat strength. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. He liked the feeling of improving bit by bit every day. Then, he spent another 100 high-tier deity-level advanced grade divine crystals to call forth more than 73 million new subjects and 12 high-tier deity-level advanced grade god spirits. He summoned more than 8 million new subjects than usual. Then, he came to the Lord shop to check today's goods. The result left him somewhat disappointed. The goods today were actually not bad. They were the yellow gold prophet's golden bloodline, God Lord Myriad Insect's companion treasure, Myriad Insect Blood Goo, as well as Qi Xuantian's Master God Tier Elementary Grade Sword Dao, the Heaven Sword Technique. These were all Master God Tier level treasures. However, with Zhou Zhou's current level, he was really not interested in items at the Master Gods. It was more like a Supreme God Realm treasure or even a divine artifact. However, he didn't care after being disheartened for a while. Now that he had the mythical tier unique Lord Talent, the King of Loots, and the Lord Shop, their effects gradually began to weaken as Zhou Zhou became stronger. This made Zhou Zhou desire for the Supreme God Realm Lord Talent even more. I have to raise the Supreme Sacred Body to the Supreme God Realm as soon as possible. Only then can I have the Supreme God Realm Lord Talent. He thought silently. Fortunately, the cultivation of the Supreme Sacred Body was relatively simple. As long as he continuously consumed Lord Talent Crystal Fragments and Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals, he could increase the level of the Supreme Sacred Body. As long as he continuously consumed Lord Talent Crystal Fragments and Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals, he could increase the level of the Supreme Sacred Body. Zhou Zhou felt that if he could always have enough Lord Talent Crystal Fragments and Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals for him to cultivate the Supreme Sacred Body, he might be able to cultivate the Supreme Sacred Body before the God Spirit reached the Supreme God Realm. Then, he returned to the shrine. With a thought, he summoned today's Lord's Shop's merchandise. Day 5 Merchandise. Star Destroyer Cannon, Mid-Tier Deity Level Intermediate Grade. Quantity, 50 same as before. Price, 300,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Elementary Sun Energy Shield, Mid-Tier Deity Level Intermediate Grade. Quantity, 20 same as before. Price, 300,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Star Destroyer Cannon, Mid-Tier Deity Level Intermediate Grade. Quantity, 50 same as before. Price, 300,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Potential Advancement Potion, Mid-Tier Deity Level Intermediate Grade. Quantity, 20 same as before. Price, 70,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Spacewalker Class Change Certificate, Kingdom Level Soldier Type, Number, 100,000 same as before. Price, 100 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Heavenly Knight Class Change Certificate, Imperial Tier Soldier Type, Quantity, 1,000 same as before. Price, 1,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. Universe Legendary Class Change Certificate, Divine Kingdom Soldier Type, Quantity, 100 same as before. Price, 10,000 Obscure Lord Shop Points. God Summoning Scroll, Mid-Tier Deity Level Intermediate Grade. Quantity, 1. After using this scroll, You can summon a mid-tier deity-level god spirit that is completely loyal to you. Selling price: 200,000 obscure lord shop points. External aid scroll, lord only, special level. Quantity: 2. After activating this scroll, you can invite an external aid member of your race to your race's territory to help you fight the lord of the race event. Selling price: 1 million obscure lord shop points. Civilization radar, true god tier elementary grade. Quantity: 1. After activating this radar, you can search for the location of civilizations within a radius of 100 billion light years. Price: 100,000 obscure lord shop points. Heart of Vengeance, special level. Quantity: 1. Stick the Heart of Vengeance to the position of your soul and imagine the appearance of the enemy you want to take revenge on. The Heart of Vengeance will guide your path. Selling price: 5 million obscure lord shop points. Note 1. Foreign aid scrolls can only be purchased after purchasing all the goods of the day. Note: after purchasing all of them, you can obtain mysterious goods. Mysterious goods are formed according to the situation of the Lord of all races. You can obtain goods that meet the needs of the Lord of all races. Zhou Zhou's gaze landed on the new civilization radar and the Heart of Vengeance. Civilization radar was naturally useless against Zhou Zhou. This was because he had the detection navigation radar of the Master God Tier Advanced grade on the Eternal Mothership alone. It could detect any civilization within a radius of 100 capital units. It was much stronger than the low-level True God Tier Civilization radar. As for the Heart of Vengeance, it was interesting. He actually had similar items on him, but they had restrictions on the frequency of use or range of guidance. However, the Heart of Vengeance did not specifically explain these 2 points. Could it be that the Heart of Vengeance did not have these 2 restrictions? If that was the case, then this was indeed a very good treasure. In the end, he realized that it required a total of 47.7 million obscure lord shop points. Zhou Zhou smacked his lips. Good God. He only had 43,799,260 points now. This number was definitely an unimaginable number for the lords of the other races. However, he could not buy all the goods. He silently closed the shop interface. At the same time, he informed Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu to eliminate a few more high-level bloodline races. After receiving an affirmative response from his clone, he returned to the Reincarnation's Sacred Palace in satisfaction to continue comprehending the laws. At the same time, Zhou Wen and Saturday also arrived at the Primal Chaos Ruins and prepared to summon today's chaotic divine demons. After the Primal Chaos Ruins was brought to the Supreme Continent by the Haze of Chaos and the other Chaos humans, it was arranged to be in the sky above a no-man's land outside the Blazing Sun Empire. This place was desolate and uninhabited within a radius of tens of thousands of light years. It was usually used by the researchers of the Blazing Sun Empire to test new weapons. Therefore, it was not a problem to use it to settle down in the Primal Chaos Ruins. Zhou Wen and Zhou Wu still led the army of the 5 capital units, 10 million god spirits, 5,000 true god tiers, Zhou Sheng, Blood Moon Sun, and Kido Tali to challenge the Primal Chaos Ruins. The only difference was that Pangu was not in the team and had gone to the Cerulean planet. However, this naturally did not affect him. On Dao Worship Peak, Zhou Wen ignored him and casually threw out 8 Chaos Magic Stones. The 8 Chaos Magic Stones flew towards the 8 nodes of the array and landed at the array's hub. Immediately after, he skillfully injected more than 1,800 Chaos Dharma seals into the Chaos Dao Sacrificial Cauldron. In the next second, buzz! The entire Chaos Dao Sacrificial Cauldron shook slightly before a circle of white airflow shook. At the same time, nomological patterns appeared on the Chaos Dao Sacrificial Cauldron and slowly revolved around it. A few seconds later, a chaos vortex gradually formed above the Chaos Dao Sacrificial Cauldron. Splash! True chains engraved with the secret engravings of the chaotic laws broke out of the void and rushed into the chaotic vortex, dragging something out. Soon, a black head with a golden horn emerged from the chaos vortex. He bit on a chaos nomological chain and looked greedily at the Blazing Sun Empire's army outside. I am the chaos of Gold Demon God, Golden Brilliance. Are you bringing me food? What food does your excellency want? Zhou Wen asked calmly. Metal. The higher the quality of the metal, the better. It's best if it's at the Master God tier level. Supreme God realm metal. If there is one, I can also accept it. Golden Brilliance's eyes lit up. The corners of Zhou Wen's mouth twitched. He asked for a Master God tier, Supreme God realm metal. What a big appetite. However, he really did. This emperor has what you said, but what may you use to exchange for it? Zhou Wen asked. Golden Brilliance was stunned for a moment, as if he hadn't expected the other party to have the intention of making a deal with him and not directly offering it to him. He narrowed his eyes and asked, What do thou want? This emperor wants all the chaos divine treasures on you. Zhou Wen said, That's my lifebound item. If I give it to you, I won't be able to live. Golden Brilliance shook his head. That's a pity. I don't think we may close this deal. Zhou Wen shook his head regretfully. I doubt it. Golden Brilliance said maliciously. What do thou mean? Zhou Wen inquired despite knowing the answer. If I kill you, won't all the high-quality metals on your body be mine? I don't have to give thou the chaos divine treasure. Golden Brilliance finally revealed his malice. Zhou Wen smiled when he heard that. Then, he took out the Xian Yuan divine sword and pointed it at Golden Brilliance. What thou said is really what this emperor wants. So we all have the same idea, huh? When Golden Brilliance saw Zhou Wen's attitude, he was stunned for a moment before laughing out loud. Then, he said with a ferocious expression, That depends on how capable you are. Come out, my sacred gold army. Golden Brilliance roared at the sky. A large number of golden light spots condensed in the air. These golden light spots quickly gathered together and formed soldiers made of various metals. Their numbers increased rapidly. In just a short while, they formed the 5 capital units Sacred Gold Army, 10 million Sacred Gold God Spirits, 50,000 Sacred Gold True God Tiers, Sacred Gold Constitution Saturday, Sacred Gold Constitution Zhou Wen, Sacred Gold Constitution Blood Moon Sun, Sacred Gold Constitution Kidotali's 4 Supremacies God Tier Combat Power. Kill them. Golden Brilliance licked his metal lips and pointed from afar. Kill. All the Sacred Gold Army immediately rushed towards Zhou Wen and the rest. Kill. The Blood Moon Sun and Kidotali roared and charged at their replicas. Let me do it. Zhou Wen was about to destroy his clone when he heard Saturday speak. All right, you do it. Zhou Wen didn't mind and nodded indifferently. Saturday nodded. Then, he looked at Saturday's clone and Zhou Sheng's clone, who were rushing towards him, and a cold expression appeared on his face. I was already very unhappy today because of the name. I can use you guys to vent my anger. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw that Saturday was actually not wearing any Master God Tier Divine artifact, when he was only maintaining the Master God Tier Advanced grade. He directly turned into a stream of light and rushed to the opposite side. Sacred Gold Constitution Saturday and Sacred Gold Constitution Zhou Wen were stunned when they saw this scene. Then, they smiled sinisterly. As duplicates, they had the same level of strength as Saturday. They were all at Master God Tier Elementary grade. It was just that they did not have the Lord's Law. However, there was another advantage. As Sacred Gold Constitution, the defensive power of their divine bodies was extremely strong. It was almost comparable to Master God Tier Advanced grade divine artifact of the same level. They were confident that even if the other party took out a Master God Tier Master God divine artifact, they wouldn't be able to hurt them for a while. This was also the characteristics and advantages of the generals summoned by the gold chaotic divine demons. However, what did they see? That stupid fellow actually dared to rush up and engage them in close combat without wearing anything, directly confronting their strongest point. Even if he wanted to die, this was not the way to do it. He's really courting death. Zhou Wen smiled sinisterly and threw a punch at Saturday. As soon as he swung his fist, wherever his fist passed, space exploded, revealing the deep, dark void behind it. On his fist were golden law engravings. They had extremely powerful cutting law characteristics. Anything that dared to block his fist would be mercilessly sliced apart. Zhou Wen's expression was very calm when faced with this terrifying punch. He only gently stretched out his right hand and easily caught this incomparably powerful punch. All the powerful and unparalleled cutting power seemed to have lost its effect in front of Zhou Zhou's right hand. Zhou Wen's expression changed drastically when he saw this, and disbelief flashed across his eyes. How is that possible? He cried out. He had thought of the countless possibilities for the other party to block his punch. However, he did not expect this scene. He only felt that the all-out punch he had thrown out was like a clay ball entering the sea when it landed on the other party's palm. Be it the terrifying power in the fist or the powerful laws of gold attached to it, it instantly melted to the point of disappearing without a trace. It was as if he had become a regular person and had thrown an extremely ordinary punch at a god spirit. No, he might not even be comparable to an ordinary person. This was because he felt that his punch was very soft and powerless. Even the little girl had more strength than him. When Saturday saw the other party's shocked expression, his expression turned cold, and he smiled coldly in his heart. After their main bodies cultivated the supreme sacred body to master god tier elementary grade, the supreme sacred body of their clones also elevated to master god tier elementary grade. A master god tier elementary grade supreme sacred body could be immune to all damage from master god tier elementary grade. Moreover, it had an extremely high defense against higher level damage. For example, the dual attack of this guy's master god tier advanced grade law of strength and the metal law would only make his palm hurt a little. It could not even break his skin. As for why the other party's power disappeared, it was because the effect of the supreme sacred body was effective and directly resolved all the other party's nomological power. Bang! Saturday punched back with all his strength. The terrifying power from the power Heavenly Emperor directly deformed the other party's metal head. Then, Saturday was followed by a series of violent beatings. Every punch hit metal. Bang, 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 bang. The sound of fists and metal colliding echoed between heaven and earth. Fist, foot, elbow, knee, arm. Saturday was like a god of martial arts, using his perfect martial arts skills to unleash the terrifying power of his physical body to his heart's content. Golden Brilliance's divine body twisted and deformed crazily, and soon it was deformed. The surrounding Kidotali clones and Saturday clones wanted to stop Saturday's continuous attacks, but they were stopped by Kidotali before they could get close. Kidotali was wearing a Master God Divine artifact, and his combat power was comparable to a slightly weaker Master God tier expert. In terms of defense, it could even guarantee that he would not die in a short period of time against several higher-level chief gods. Even though it was a little difficult for him to restrain the two Master God tiers, it was still possible. D****. The two Master God tier clones were furious, but they couldn't escape Kidotali's interception. They could only concentrate on fighting him. A moment later, boom, as the last punch landed, Golden Brilliance's head was smashed into metal powder by Saturday's punch. No! Golden Brilliance let out an indignant roar before he died. Then, his divine body went limp and he stopped breathing. Saturday flung his arms and hoisted a sigh of relief. Saturday felt much better after beating this guy up. He even began to think that the name Saturday was actually not bad. Then, he opened his right hand and aimed his palm at the Chaos Metal God Fiend, extracting his spoils of war. Soon, the corpses of the chaotic divine demons disappeared and were replaced by 4 chaotic divine treasures. Saturday summoned the 4 chaos divine treasures and gazed at them with a smile on his face. 8 chaos divine treasures. If I do it again tomorrow, I can upgrade my territory to the true god tier elementary grade. When the time comes, I can also upgrade my divine kingdom. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, Saturday muttered to himself. Then, he turned around and gazed at the battlefield behind him. The metal replica army had already disappeared. All the Blazing Sun Empire's armies were regrouping and waiting for Zhou Wen and Saturday's next order. Return to the Empire. Saturday gave a simple order. Yes. The soldiers roared. Then, they boarded the spaceships and returned to the Blazing Sun Empire. After returning to the Blazing Sun Empire, Zhou Wen and Saturday did not stay idle. Instead, they led their soldiers to join Bai Yun's army and expanded the territory of the Blazing Sun Empire on the High Continent with her. At the same time, in the active universe, The Eternal Mothership had already led the army and God's spirits to the active universe yesterday. It had handed over all the soldiers, God's spirits, and treasures to Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu. With the Eternal Mothership and the Supreme God Realm treasure, it would be much more convenient for them to hide themselves, launch sneak attacks, escape, and chase enemies in the active universe. Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the Eternal Mothership. With the Eternal Mothership and the Supreme God Realm treasure, it would be much more convenient for them to hide themselves, launch sneak attacks, escape, and chase enemies in the active universe. After putting the skin of Gadalos on the Eternal Mothership, they immediately prepared to attack the Radiant Angel race, the Immortal Spirit race, and the descendant of the God Spirit race. Reporting to Your Majesty, this is the information on the three races. The Heavenly Map Army has already gathered it. Wu Tu said respectfully. Open it. Zhou Fight said. Yes, Your Majesty. Wu Tu said respectfully. Then, he opened his personal terminal and projected all the information they had gathered on the large screen of the conference room and the personal terminal projections of all the generals present. Zhou Fight and the rest looked over. Then, he raised his eyebrows slightly. According to the report, after the Radiant Angel race, the Immortal Spirit race, and the descendant of the God Spirit race joined forces, their overall military strength had already reached an astonishing level. Among them, the Radiant Angel race alone had more than 8 capital unit soldiers, more than 21 million Radiant Angel race God Spirits, more than 2,000 Radiant Angel race True God Tiers, and 5 Radiant Angel race Master God Tiers. The Immortal Spirit race had a total of 5 capital unit soldiers, more than 15 million Immortal Spirit race God Spirits, more than 2,500 True God Tiers, and 8 Master God Tiers. The descendant of the God Spirit race had more than 8 capital unit soldiers, more than 29 million descendant of the God Spirit race God Spirits, more than 3,000 Radiant Angel race True God Tiers, and 2 Radiant Angel race Master God Tiers. They added up to an astonishing number of soldiers from the 21 capital units, more than 65 million God Spirits, more than 7,500 True God Tiers, and 15 Master Gods. Apart from that, there were also a large number of war puppets, war formations, war machines, war spaceships, and various other war treasures with terrifying combat strength. Such strength, the generals present could not help but be surprised. The Blazing Sun Empire's total military strength in the active universe was 8 capital unit soldiers, more than 16 million God Spirits, more than 30,000 True God Tiers, and 9 Master Gods. It could be said that it was far inferior to the total military strength of these three races. However, at this moment, Zhou Fight knocked on the table. The enemy's strength is very clear. I have to admit that in terms of total military strength, we are indeed inferior to the other party by more than a little. But it doesn't matter. Don't forget that our soldiers are super elite soldiers with the most combat experience, the most combat skills, and are completely unafraid of death and injuries. There's no need to talk about our God Spirits. All of them are equipped with divine artifacts. I don't believe that a mere 65 million God Spirits like him can deal with our God Spirits. Therefore, this Emperor has decided to defeat them head-on with our troops. This Emperor and Zhou Wu will fight at the front of the army. They will break through the enemy's formation and go straight to the higher-ups of the enemy's army. Then, they will annihilate them in one go. After we annihilate them, things will be much easier. In short, victory in this war will definitely belong to us. If you have no objections, follow this Emperor's plan. Zhou Fight looked at the generals and said. The generals raised their hands in agreement without hesitation. It was not just because they believed what their king said was right. They did indeed have the ability to take down the other party. Most importantly, they believed that their invincible and invincible majesty would definitely lead them to victory. Just like countless wars in the past, they would not doubt it, nor did they have any reason to doubt it. After Zhou Fight gave the order, the entire Blazing Sun Empire's army began to operate at full power. After everything was prepared, they immediately flew at full speed toward the allied forces of the three races 150,000 light-years away from them. A moment later, the Eternal Mothership quietly arrived less than 10 million kilometers away from the Allied army. At this moment, Because the eternal mothership was covered with the skin of Godillos, even though they were so close, the gods and radars of the three races still did not discover the location of the eternal mothership. 0. Give our enemy 10 shots of the origin spear first. Zhou Fight said with a smile when he saw that the three races did not notice anything. The origin spear. The Master God tier advanced grade mechanical weapon on the eternal mothership. It was one of the crystallizations of the highest technological civilization of the Machina race. By striking a singularity in the space where the enemy was, the singularity would quickly collapse inwards. At the same time, it would attract and pull everything within a diameter of 1,000,000,000,000 light years from 3-dimensional to 2-dimensional, then from 2-dimensional to 1-dimensional, and finally collapse into the singularity, returning to the origin of the universe. It could be said that one singularity bullet of the origin spear was enough to destroy the boundless universe created by the Master God tier. If it landed on a Master God tier, there was an 80% chance that it could directly kill him. Machina Master God tier 0 was able to become one of the top 10 Master Gods thanks to the origin spear. However, what corresponded to his might was that the difficulty of creating the origin spear was extremely high. Even the founder of the Machina Master God 0 probably did not have more than 100 origin guns, and Zhou Zhou's eternal mothership only carried 10 origin guns. Yes, Your Majesty. Zero's cold voice sounded. Then, 10 black spears quickly appeared on the 10 tallest silver-white gun towers at the top of the eternal mothership. Each of them was more than 100 meters long, and there were all kinds of high-tech machinery on them. They looked very complicated and science fiction. Command: activate all origin spears. Objective: break through the enemy's protective shield and cause maximum damage to the enemy, reducing the number of enemies. Locking and accumulating energy. 9, 8, 7. Wisps of 7-colored light condensed at the muzzle of the origin spear and finally turned into a ball of light the size of a fist. The energy inside was compressed to the extreme and emitted 7-colored light. It was clearly formed from energy, but at this moment, it looked like it was solid. 1. Fire. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 10 colorful balls of light shot out and crossed tens of millions of kilometers in an instant, landing on the protection of the three races. The 10 singularity bullets silently landed on the protection of the army of the three races. When the surrounding space began to collapse and countless armies of the three races died under the origin spear, the three races finally realized that they had been ambushed. Who is it? Boom, 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 boom. Streaks of shocking aura soared into the sky, followed by Master God-level powerhouses flying out one after another. In total, there were 15 Master God powerhouses. Then, they saw the scene of their army being devoured by the 10 singularity bullets of the origin spear. D***. Let's work together to stop these things. A Master God of the Radiant Angel race shouted. Then, together with the other 14 Master Gods, they activated their divine power and covered the range of the 10 singularity bullets. Under the joint efforts of these 15 Master Gods, the range and strength of these 10 bullets finally obtained a certain degree of control. They even began to shrink inwards. Even so, in just a few dozen seconds, hundreds of trillions of soldiers and a small number of god spirits and true god tiers had died under these 10 singularity bullets. The Master Gods who discovered this only felt their hearts bleeding. That was the foundation of their race. That was the foundation of their race. Not to mention the final outcome of this competition for Venus. Just the consequences of the scene in front of them were enough for them to be scolded when they returned to their race. Who the hell is it? A Master God of the descendant of the God Spirit clan was furious. A Master God of the immortal spirit race pondered for a moment. As he continued to control the range of the 10 bullets, he looked at the surrounding starry sky and said coldly, Azure Emperor, since you've already made your move, there's no need to sneak around. Azure Emperor, he actually dared to take the initiative to look for me. The other Master Gods of the descendant of the God Spirit race said in disbelief. I knew it was that guy. In this active universe, Only the bold Azure Emperor would dare to take the initiative to find us when our three races are working together. A master god of the radiant angel race said. At the same time, just as the 15 master gods of the people of foreign races were searching for the Azure Emperor, Zhou Fight was inside the eternal mothership, looking at the 15 people of foreign race master gods from afar. Through Heart Pirate's ability, he quickly knew what treasures he had on him and who Regal Soul Heaven's divine bone was on. Deputy Patriarch of the Radiant Angel race Kalane has a divine bone of Regal Soul Heaven. The strongest expert of the immortal spirit race, the Mystic Heaven Lord, also has one. There's also the Patriarch of the descendant of the God Spirit, the Nine Saint King. He also has one. TSK, they're all big shots. Zhou Fight chuckled. Following that, he attempted to steal and discovered that he didn't succeed. This Regal Soul Heaven's divine bone was indeed magical. Not only could it block his 10,000 Spirit Saint effect, but it could also block his Mind Thief effect. However, Zhou Zhou understood. Regal Soul Heaven had almost become a will-level Lord Nomological Cultivator when he was alive. Regal Soul Heaven had almost become a will-level Lord Nomological Cultivator when he was alive. It would be strange if the Lord Talent effect he used could affect his relic. This was a true suppression of levels after all. Give him another round of Origin Spears. Zhou Wen ordered. Each shot of the Origin Spears singularity bullets required 10 Master God tier advance grade divine crystals. However, compared to the outcome of the war, these consumptions did not matter. As long as he could defeat the allied army of the three races, he could easily gain 10 times, 100 times, or even more. Yes, Your Majesty, Zero said respectfully. Then, without hesitation, he charged another 10 Origin Spears and steered the Eternal Mothership in another direction. Finally, he aimed at the undefended position of the 15 Supremacies and fired another 10 Origin Spear bullets. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Then, he charged another 10 Origin Spears and steered the Eternal Mothership in another direction without hesitation. Finally, he aimed at the undefended position of the 15 Master Gods and fired another 10 Origin Spear bullets. The 10 bullets from the Origin Spear easily broke through the protection barrier and shot into the Alliance army almost without any resistance. They turned into 10 bullets that crazily devoured and tore everything within a radius of 1,000,000,000,000 light years. In the blink of an eye, trideons of troops, hundreds of god spirits, and 5 true god tiers perished under the devouring of the singularity. Moreover, this number was still increasing at an astonishing speed. When the 15 master gods of the three races saw this scene, they felt their eyes widen. I remember now. This is the Machina Master God's Origin Spear. I've seen it before in the battle where he ascended to becoming top 10 Master Gods. We must do our best to stop the erosion of these weapons. Otherwise, if we sit back and do nothing, more than half of the army we brought will probably die. The descendant of the God Spirit Patriarch shouted. Hearing this, the expressions of the other Master Gods changed drastically. The Machina Master God was the one who created this terrifying weapon. No wonder it was so powerful. They did not dare to delay and immediately diverted a portion of their strength to stop the erosion and expansion of the singularity. Just as the allied forces of the three races were busy fending for themselves, an incomparably huge and majestic cosmic battleship slowly appeared in the air and appeared in front of the people of foreign races. It was the Eternal Mothership. The upper echelons of the Radiant Angel race and other races were shocked when they saw such a behemoth appear in front of them. The giant ship was so close to them, and they only noticed it now? What kind of warship was this? Could it be a Supreme God Realm battleship? In the next second, more than 8 soldiers from capital units, more than 16 million God spirits, more than 3,000 true God tiers, and 9 Lord Gods flew out of the Eternal Mothership. Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu, who were in the lead, smiled when they saw the broken protection shield of the opposing Alliance army. Then, the smile turned extremely cold. Kill, he ordered. As soon as he finished speaking, all the soldiers and god spirits charged towards the other party. Zhou Wen and Zhou Zhan immediately turned into two nine-colored streams of light and flew towards the 15 master gods. The Azure Emperor is coming. Be careful, Master God Kyle reminded. The other master gods did not dare to be careless. What a joke. The Skeleton Tribe and the Six-Armed War Demon Tribe were both high-level bloodline races that were not inferior to them. However, they were easily destroyed by the Azure Emperor. How could they dare to underestimate such an enemy? At this moment, Zhou Fight had already arrived in front of the Deputy Patriarch of the Radiant Angel race, Kyle. He took out the Xian Yuan Divine Sword and slashed. This strike contained all the power of the Myriad Method Star Palm. Kyle felt an extremely terrifying sense of danger. His expression changed drastically as he immediately raised a holy golden shield. This was one of the foundations of the Radiant Angel race, a Master God tier advance, Grade Divine Artifact Holy Radiant Shield. It was left behind by the first Radiant Angel King and had always been regarded as a treasure by the Radiant Angel race. He had unparalleled defensive abilities and the ability to kill evil. Therefore, he was the #1 combat divine artifact of the Radiant Angel race. When Zhou Fight saw this Master God tier advance Grade Divine Artifact, a sinister smile appeared on his face. Boom. The Xian Yuan Divine Sword struck the Holy Shield of Light. Cracking sounds could be heard. Something shocking happened to Kyle. The Radiant Angel race regarded the Radiant Holy Shield as the #1 defensive treasure and the #1 offensive treasure. Under Zhou Wen's attack, it actually produced a crack that was visible to the naked eye. Traces of divine light leaked out from it, indicating that this Master God tier advanced Grade Divine Artifact already had a problem with the leakage of its origin divine power. If it was not repaired quickly, its grade might even decrease. Zhou Fight did not care what Kyle was thinking. He slashed out again and again with his usual expression. As a divine sword, it was actually being used by Zhou Wen as a saber, pouring out his unparalleled strength. Kyle tried to retaliate. However, his counterattack was so laughable in the face of Zhou Wen's terrifying nomological suppression and power suppression. Occasionally, a few attacks were lucky enough to land on Zhou Fight's body. Zhou Fight also looked indifferent, making Kyle feel even more despair. His attack was invincible, and his defense was unparalleled. How were they supposed to fight? At this moment, the other 4 Radiant Angel race Master God tiers and the 4 Immortal Spirit race Master God tiers immediately flew over to help after seeing Kyle being attacked. Come on, let me see what you've got. Not only was Zhou Fight not afraid, he even laughed wildly. The Supreme Sacred Body directly gave birth to 3 heads and 6 arms with a thought from him. Each of the 6 arms held a Master God tier advance Grade Divine Artifact. Just like that, he fought 9 people head-on and was not at a disadvantage. At the same time, Zhou Marshall's side did not fall behind either. The target he had found was the Immortal Spirit race's Mystic Heaven Lord. As one of the strongest experts in the immortal world, the Mystic Heaven Lord was good at using a divine cauldron. With a cauldron in hand, the Mystic Heaven Lord's attack and defense in the immortal world were unparalleled. He had almost never met a worthy opponent other than the 10 Master Gods. Until he met Zhou Marshall. Relying on the powerful defense of the Supreme Sacred Body and the invincible strength of the Power Heavenly Emperor, Zhou Marshall punched the surface of his divine cauldron again and again. Even if the divine cauldron could 100% reflect the external attacks onto the enemy, Zhou Marshall did not care at all. On the other hand, Mystic Heaven Lord, who was in the divine cauldron, was shocked by Zhou Marshall's punches. His divine body almost collapsed as he revealed a shocked expression. Where did the Azure Emperor get such a powerful helper? Just the methods displayed in front of him made he feel that he was not inferior to the Master God of Light, Helu, who had once defeated him. Hurry up and help. He shouted at the 3 Master Gods who were still in a daze. When the other Master Gods heard this, they glanced at the 7 Master Gods of the mortal empire who were eyeing them covetously. Hesitation appeared on their faces. Since they had gone to help, wouldn't the remaining Master Gods of the mortal empire be able to kill wantonly in their army? This was a total of 7 High Lords. If they were allowed to kill, as long as there was enough time, They could even annihilate the army they brought. However, they could not think too much about it. This was because they had seen that the helper that the Azure Emperor had invited had actually beaten up the strongest expert of the immortal spirit race, Mystic Heaven Lord, several times. His intrinsic divine cauldron was also about to be shattered by the other party. Once Mystic Heaven Lord's intrinsic divine cauldron was lost, he would almost certainly die. Master gods were still more important than ordinary soldiers. Therefore, they charged at Zhou Marshal together. In the blink of an eye, there were also 6 master gods surrounding Zhou Marshal. However, he was naturally not afraid at all. He directly fought against 6 of them. At the same time, the other 7 worshipped master gods of the Blazing Sun Empire had originally wanted to support Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu. However, a voice transmission from Zhou Fight stopped them. "You guys go help the army. Don't worry about us. Let us stretch our muscles with these guys." Hence, they temporarily watched from the sidelines and did not help Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu. It was only when they saw that Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu could not only fight against a crowd alone, but could even suppress them when fighting against a crowd alone that they completely relaxed. While they marveled at His Majesty's combat power, they turned around to deal with the allied forces. Be it the number of troops, the number of god spirits, or the number of true god tier, the other party far exceeded them. Their edge lay in the quality of their soldier types and their external equipment. With these 2 points, they could fight to a draw with the other party. And after the 7 high gods joined, it could increase their chances of victory. At the same time, after Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu experimented with the strength of their supreme sacred body, they could not help but feel very satisfied. The supreme sacred body was indeed the #1 cultivation technique of the myriad races. Just cultivating to the elementary grade of Master God tier was enough to make him invincible in the Master God tier realm. Moreover, this was only its most basic ability. This made Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu look forward to the future of this constitution even more. Then, Zhou Fight looked at the Radiant Angel race's Master God, Kalane, who was besieging him. He teleported in front of Kalane and grabbed her by the neck. At the same time, he used his Lord's Law to suppress Kalane's Master God tier Light Law and Master God tier Holy Law. Gur. Kalane struggled with all his might, but he, who could not use any strength, was no different from a chick to Zhou Fight. Experiment complete. "I'm not playing with you anymore," Zhou Fight said. Then, he directly injected his divine power into Kalane's chest and crushed her divine spark. At the same time, he used his will, which was close to the will divine transformation realm, to destroy her will. Kalane died on the spot. Rumble. From the moment the other Master God tier saw Kalane being strangled by Zhou Fight until Kalane's death, they had been desperately attacking Zhou Fight. However, Zhou Fight, who had the supreme sacred body, was like an indestructible city wall. No matter what method they used to assault Zhou Fight, it did not affect he at all. In fact, it could not even break the internal armor of the Master Divine artifact he was wearing. They looked at Zhou Fight as if they had seen a ghost. Could this guy be a supreme God realm expert? Why do the attacks of top Master God tier like us seem to have no effect on him? Meanwhile, Zhou Fight had already taken away Kalane's world ring and taken out Regal's Soul Heaven's divine bone. He glanced at Zhou Marshal and realized that Zhou Marshal had also killed Mystic Heaven Lord and taken away all the treasures on he, as well as the other divine bone of Regal Soul Heaven. Then, they looked at the last god spirit of the people of foreign races in the distance. From the descendant of the god spirit clan's patriarch, Nine Saint True King. The Nine Saint True King trembled in fear after being condensed by these 2 ferocious gods. He could clearly see that the 2 top-notch Master God tier powerhouses who were not inferior to him were instantly killed after the other party became serious. If he dared to go against the other party, wouldn't he perish in minutes? As for the Master God's edge in numbers, he had seen the quantity but didn't see any advantages. Thinking of this, he didn't hesitate to take out the last divine bone of Regal Soul Heaven and hurriedly beg for mercy. "Azure Emperor, don't kill me. Isn't this what you want? I'll give it to you. In addition, I'm also willing to participate the mortal empire and become its worshipped Master God. Please spare my life, Azure Emperor. Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu were stunned. Then, they looked at each other and smiled. Are you willing to surrender? Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu looked at the other 12 master gods and asked. The 12 master gods looked at each other and transformed into 12 streams of light and fled in all directions without hesitation. They were master god tier existences after all. They were the peak experts of the myriad races. How could they surrender just like that? As for the 9 Saint King, he could only blame his bad luck. After all, he had been targeted by those 2 ferocious gods. You won't give up until you reach the Yellow River. Zhou Fight shook his head. He had already set up an isolation array within a radius of 100 billion light-years with the help of a master god-tier advanced grade divine artifact. Not only could it stop the enemies inside from escaping, but it could also stop the enemies outside from barging in. It could also stop the enemies inside from asking for help. This was also the reason why he dared to deal with the 3 armies so calmly. He did not care about these fleeing master god tiers. He turned around and opened his right palm, aiming it at the army of the 3 races. 10,000 Spirit Saint. Activate. Invisible ripples instantly spread in all directions with the palm as the center and quickly enveloped the entire isolation array. A text notification appeared. Prompt. You have activated your mythical tier unique Lord talent. 10,000 Spirit Saint. All spirits see you as a supreme saint and long to follow you. Lord Talent Notification 1. There are 3 capital units and 1 quadrillion, 584 trillion, 474 billion, 498,663,624 enraged soldiers. 1 capital unit and 2 quadrillion, 152, 2 quadrillion, 152 trillion, 263 billion, 245,469,865 green bronze tier foreign race soldiers. 8 quadrillion, 521 trillion, 241 billion, 87,412,623 white, silver tier foreign race soldiers. 150 trillion, 263 billion, 287,541,552 legendary tier foreign race soldiers. 112,513,260 low-tier deity level foreign race god spirits. 8,154,748 mid-tier deity level foreign race god spirits. 2,216,966 high-tier deity level foreign race god spirits. 2,501 true gods, and 6 master gods who have voluntarily separated from their lord forces and become your loyal followers. Lord Talent Notification 2. You have obtained a Spellcaster de Carlos. True God Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Fight raised his eyebrows slightly and smiled after reading it. It was not in vain that he had spent so much effort to encircle and suppress the allied army of the 3 races. The 10,000 Spirit Saint had actually directly incite defection 7 capital units, 4 quadrillion, 741 trillion, 266 billion 588,650,000 people of foreign races soldiers, 22,884,974 god spirits, 2,501 true god tiers, and 6 master gods. This was already half of the total number of troops under the main body. Then, he didn't think too much about it and immediately gave the order to counterattack. With the help of the incite defection people of foreign races, the Blazing Sun Empire's army, which was originally outnumbered, instantly became outnumbered. Coupled with the help of the Master God tier and the strong quality of the soldiers, the Blazing Sun Empire's army instantly grasped the absolute advantage on the battlefield. Half an hour later, the Master Gods of the Blazing Sun Empire escorted the other 6 Master God tiers who had not been incited by the 10,000 Spirit Saint to Zhou Fight. Reporting to your Majesty. AU the escaping Master God tiers have been brought here. An immortal spirit race Master God had just been induced by incite defection, said respectfully. Zhou Fight nodded and looked at the 6 Master Gods. Are you wanting to surrender? If you are willing to surrender, this Emperor can spare your lives. If you refuse to surrender, your lives will be spared. He went straight to the point. When the six master gods heard this, a sneer flashed across their faces. Some of their eyes flickered while some of them hesitated. Your Excellency Azure Emperor, I surrender. A master god of the radiant angel race gritted his teeth and said respectfully, Me too. I also surrender. Please spare my life, Your Excellency Azure Emperor. With the first, there would be the next, and even the third. Soon, a total of 5 master gods were willing to surrender. The last master god of the people of foreign races firmly chose not to surrender. It's a shame. Zhou Fight lamented hypocritically. Then, he couldn't be bothered to ask why. He didn't surrender. He looked directly at the 5 master god tiers of the people of foreign races who had surrendered. Tell me, are you willing to join the Blazing Sun Empire and become our worshipped master god? He said lightly. As soon as he said that, the 6 master god tiers of the people of foreign races immediately widened their eyes and looked at Zhou Fight. Especially the master god of the radiant angel race, who was unwilling to surrender. He looked at Zhou Fight as if he had seen a ghost. There was only one thought in his mind. The Azure Emperor was really the common people's regal. In that case, it was easy to understand why Azure Emperor controlled the unique methods of the common people's regal. However, that was strange. Why didn't they think of or confirm that the Azure Emperor was the common people's regal when they thought of these things previously? The more this master god of the radiant angel race thought about it, the more confused he became. He felt as if his original thoughts had been forcefully altered. It was extremely unreasonable. The 5 master gods of the people of foreign races looked at each other. In the end, they still said that they wanted to join the Blazing Sun Empire. Zhou Fight smiled in satisfaction. Then, he looked at the only radiant angel race master god tier who hadn't surrendered. The other master god tiers have already surrendered. Are you still unwilling to surrender? He asked. Common people's regal. I admit that your methods are extraordinary tier. However, if you want me to surrender just because of this, aren't you looking down on my faith in the light? The master god of the radiant angel race sneered. Aren't you afraid of dying? Zhou Fight said in surprise. Master gods rarely died. However, that did not mean that the master god was not afraid of death. On the contrary, as an existence that had already reached the peak of the myriad worlds, Master God tier was the group of god spirits who were most afraid of death when the supreme god realm and stronger existences did not appear. That was because they had already tasted the beauty of being a top-notch powerhouse. They don't want to let go of this beauty and therefore did not want to die. The master gods he had met along the way were mostly the same. There were only a few exceptions. I live for faith. What's the point of living if I live and the faith dies down? The master god of the radiant angel race asked. Zhou Fight nodded and ordered. Bury him with dignity. He chose to respect him, even though he didn't agree with him. The master god tier of the radiant angel race was stunned. Then, he smiled faintly and stretched out his neck to kill. Another hour passed. The remaining armies of the 3 races were finally wiped out by the soldiers and god spirits under him. Then, after Zero used the battlefield recovery system of the Eternal Mothership to clean up the battlefield, they boarded the Eternal Mothership without hesitation and left as quickly as possible. Not long after they left, a group of even larger cosmic fleets broke through the void and formed a cross-border gate, descending here. There were tens of millions of battleships in their fleet, and every one of them was at least a low-tier deity-level battleship. The highest-level battleships had also reached the level of Master God tier advanced grade, just like the Eternal Mothership. These battleships were like stars in the sea of stars, dreamy and dazzling. They had already reached the level of a work of art. Moreover, there were all kinds of top-notch space battleship weapons on the surface and inside of this beautiful battleship that was like a work of art. If they ignored the lethality of his battleship weapons because of his artwork-like appearance, these cosmic battleships would definitely underestimate his existence and properly display their incomparably terrifying combat strength and destructive power. Right at that moment, a master god flew out from the leading cosmic battleship. He wore a starry imperial robe, and his resplendent silver eyes seemed to contain a vast universe. He held the divine staff in his left hand and the divine seal in his right. An unparalleled master god tier pressure spread out from his body, making all existences that looked at him feel a terrifying pressure that seemed to be pressing down on their hearts. He was the master god tier of the original spirit race. At the same time, he was also the existence closest to the war master god Terrence in terms of combat strength. Original master god Source, and the cosmic fleet behind him was naturally the original spirit race's cosmic fleet. When the Source saw the empty starry sky below, his expression immediately darkened. Still too late, he muttered. A master god tier of the original spirit race flew over and came to his side. He looked at the starry sky below and said in disbelief, "We rushed over immediately after discovering that there was something wrong with the radiant angel race, the immortal spirit race, and the descendant of the god spirit race. We didn't even make it in time." Doesn't their alliance have more than 21 capital units of soldiers, more than 65 million god spirits, more than 7,500 true gods, and 15 master gods? There are so many soldiers and god spirit level experts. In addition, Patriarch, the divine bone you gave them, regal soul heaven, can't delay until we arrive. The mortal empire of the Azure Emperor, and he, is probably stronger than most high-level races. Only such powerhouses and forces could destroy the Radiant Angel race's allied army in such a short period of time. The Source said in a deep voice. "So are we going after him now?" The master god of the original spirit race said. "Chase. Go after him now. From the spatial fluctuations here, the other party definitely hasn't run far. Immediately search a radius of 10 trillion light-years. We must find traces of the Azure Emperor. Once you find any traces of the Azure Emperor, you don't have to tell me. Immediately lead the entire army to destroy him." Source said. Yes. The master god of the original spirit race received the order and immediately led the fleet to begin searching for traces of the Azure Emperor's fleet within a radius of 10 trillion light-years. However, the spaceships that Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu were on were, after all, the crystallization of the highest intelligence created by the Machina master god, Zero. Not only were none of the god-tier spaceships brought by the original spirit race unable to detect the location of the Eternal Mothership, but they also allowed the Eternal Mothership to detect their radar search. After Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu found out, they immediately got the Eternal Mothership to leave the range of the original spirit race's radar. They did not want to encounter the original spirit race for the time being. Not today, at least. The original spirit race was the #1 race in the myriad worlds with more than 100 master gods after all. There were also many supreme god realm trump cards. Zhou Fight did not want to face such a powerful enemy before he had absolute confidence in winning. In the following period of time, perhaps it was because Zhou Fight and the others' destruction of the allied army of the three races had shocked the entire alliance of the people of foreign races. In the following period of time, the 7 high-level bloodline races, the original spirit race, the chaos gods race, the shepherd's god race, the leviathan race, the dragon race, the elemental race, and the gas race, sent their fleets to search for the Azure Emperor and the mortal empire in the entire active universe. Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu soon found out about this, but they didn't care at all. They brought Cerulean Planet to rest and organized their gains relying on the invincible obscure ability of the Eternal Mothership and the skin of Garlos. During this period, several search teams passed by the Eternal Mothership. However, no matter how close they were, they did not discover that the Eternal Mothership was not far from them. At night, at the Blazing Sun Empire, inside the shrine, Zhou Zhou sat on the throne and looked at the war summary in front of him. In the entire day, the 2 battlefields on the High Continent and Cerulean Planet had wiped out a total of more than 16 capital units and 60 trillion soldiers, more than 30 million god spirits, more than 4,000 true god tiers, and 16 master gods. He obtained a total of mist cores, origin crystals, skill books, equipment, and basic materials of various levels in the capital units. There were also 1,536,328,668,799 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, 15,620 legendary tier and below Lord Talent spheres, a large number of Lord Talent crystal fragments of other levels. One Lord Talent Sphere containing the 10 sacred blessings. Light Master God Helu's protection, the mythical unique Lord Talent. In addition, there were 4,262,985,073 units of divine crystals from low-tier to high-tier deity level. 626,357,785 true God-tier divine crystals, and 63,628,565 Master God-tier divine crystals. More than 5,110,074.1 million low-tier to high-tier deity-level divine artifacts. 4.52 million true God-tier divine artifacts. 695 Master God-tier divine artifacts. There were a total of about 2 trillion divine spark fragments, God-tier medicinal herbs, God-tier ingredients, God-tier ores, God-tier blueprints, and other treasures. 84,502,302 Master God-tier herbs, God-tier ingredients, God-tier ores, God-tier blueprints, and other treasures. Zhou Zhou looked at the 10 sacred blessings Lord Talent Sphere that represented the Master God-tier of light, and a smile appeared on his face. He finally obtained another 10 sacred blessings Lord Talent. This way, he had already obtained half of the Lord Talents in the 10 Sacred Blessings series. This was definitely an unimaginable thing for many lords of all races, and even the races behind them. He was not in a hurry to check what the effects of Helu's 10 Sacred Blessings were. Instead, he continued to read the war summary. In terms of insight defection, Zhou Fight had used the 10,000 Spirit Saints Insight Defection today to recruit 7 capital units, 4,741,266,588,651,522 skeleton soldiers, 22,884,974 god spirits, 2,501 true god tiers, and 6 master gods. In addition, 6 master god tiers from the people of foreign races had surrendered. Therefore, there were a total of 12 master gods. In addition, in terms of the advancement of god spirits, 5,153,693 legendary tier advanced grade soldiers had been promoted to low-tier deity level elementary grade god spirits. There were also 411 high-tier deity level advanced grade god spirits who had advanced to true god tier elementary grade god spirits. With the help of the Master God Tier's Book of the God Spirit, Yuan Song and Ying Ning had also comprehended their own Master God Tier elementary grade law skills. Next, they only needed to enter seclusion for a day or two, and there was a high chance that their Blazing Sun Empire would have 2 more Master Gods. Zhou Zhou's original military force was 15 capital units, 2,682,417,532,781,495 soldiers, 28,919,615 god spirits, 8,737 true god tiers, and 36 supremacy god tiers. With the addition of these insight defection troops and the newly promoted god spirit powerhouses, the troops under him had reached 22 capital units, with 7,423,684,162,793,324 soldiers, 56,957,871 god spirits, 11,649 true god tiers, and 48 master gods. The total quantity of my troops has surpassed 20 capital units. The total number of deity spirits has exceeded 50 million. The total number of true gods has exceeded 10,000, and the total number of supreme gods has almost reached 50. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. Even he couldn't find any fault with the speed at which his force increased. Zhou Zhou looked at the last part. Today, after Zhou Fight and Zhou Wu led their army to defeat the allied forces of the 3 races, the Supreme will rewarded he with 900 billion hegemony points and 90 million obscure lordship points. Previously, Zhou Zhou had a total of 695,160,572,000 hegemony points and 43,799,260 obscure lordship points. Now, including these hegemony points and the obscure lordship points, he now had a total of 1,595,160,572,000 hegemony points and 133,799,260 obscure lordship points. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction and opened the Lord of all races rankings. The second stage of the Lord of the Race event, Lord of all races rankings. Number 1. Earthling, Mortal Lord, hegemony points. 1, 595, 160, 570, 200 hegemony points. No. 2. True Spirit Stars Original Spirit Race, True Lord, hegemony points. 1,255,145,850,000 hegemony points. Number 3. Golden Crow Region Chaos Gods Race, Great One Lord, hegemony points. 52,178,872,900 hegemony points. No. 4. Godly King Planet, Shepherd's God Race, Heaven Chasing Lord, hegemony points. 22,122,101,000 hegemony points. Zhou Zhou glanced at it and opened the Hidden Lord shop. Then, he spent 47.7 million obscure lord shop points to buy all the items on the 5th day. At this point, he still had 86,099,260 obscure lord shop points. The next second, a text notification appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Notice, you have bought 5 goods in the obscure lord shop on the first day. Congratulations, you have obtained a mysterious good. Then, countless golden lights appeared out of thin air. These golden lights intertwined and formed 20 importation scrolls. Zhou Zhou reached out to take it. He looked at the 20 importation scrolls with a satisfied expression. With these 20 importation scrolls, he would definitely be able to advance to a true God-tier intermediate grade God Spirit tomorrow. At that time, his strength would rise to another level. Then, he took out the 10 Sacred Blessings Lord Talent Sphere that contained the Light Master God tier. He looked at the Lord Talent Sphere. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, Lord Talent Sphere, 10 Sacred Blessings, Light Master God tier, Hilu's Protection. Treasure grade, Mythical tier, Unique. Treasure effect, after absorbing it, the Lord will have mythical tiers only Lord Talent, 10 Sacred Blessings, Light Master God, Hilu's Protection. Treasure description, a spoil of war that could not be dropped, but was forcefully dropped under the drive of some mysterious power. The 5th 10 Sacred Blessings series Lord Talent. Zhou Zhou smiled and then absorbed it. Now that he was already a Master God tier elementary grade Supreme Sacred Body, absorbing a mythical tier Lord Talent was no longer a big deal. Soon, he finished absorbing this Lord Talent sphere and successfully awakened the 10 Sacred Blessings series of Lord Talents of Master God tier Hilu. Lord Talent, 10 Sacred Blessings, Light Master God, Hilu's Protection, Mythical tier, Unique. Specific Talent Effect 1, Hilu's Supreme Blessing, one of the 10 chief gods under the Supreme Will, Light Master God. Hilu has cast the Supreme Blessing on you and all your subjects. You and all your subjects will obtain the talent effect of the power of light. Under the effect of the power of light, you and your subjects will obtain an additional 100% lethality when attacking the fog monsters and other evil creatures. Specific Talent Effect 2, Body of Light. You and your subjects have a special physique, Body of Light. When your body and soul are injured, the Body of Light can absorb external light to speed up the recovery of your body and soul. Specific Talent Effect 3, Law of Light. You and your subjects have a unique talent in the Law of Light. During the cultivation process, it is easier to comprehend the Law of Light spells or even Law of Light techniques. When you choose the Law of Light to become a god, you will obtain an additional 50% chance of successfully advancing. Specific Talent Effect 4, Master God's Protection. The development process of your Lord's faction will not be hindered by other Master God level powerhouses. The Master God of Light, Helu, will secretly protect you and your Lord's faction, stopping or killing any Master God-level powerhouses who dare to come and have malicious intentions. Specific Talent Effect 5. Protector of the Divine Kingdom. When your Lord faction advances to the beginner-level Divine Kingdom, the Light God Helu will automatically join your Lord faction and become a worshipped Master God loyal to you. However, you have to promise him that you will help the Light God Helu advance to the Supreme God realm in the future. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. Even though the overall effect of Master God tier Helu's 10 Sacred Blessings Lord Talent gazed ordinary, there's something to be said for it. For example, obtaining an additional 100% lethality. This percentage increase was almost a most precious increase for Zhou Zhou and his subordinates. It could double the combat strength of his subordinates and him. In addition, when choosing to become a god with a law of light, one could obtain an additional 50% chance of successfully advancing. It was also a huge improvement. There was a 50% chance of success. This probability was unimaginable for most superhumans and even god spirits. In the future, the subjects under him would definitely receive a huge improvement because of this talent, and a large number of god spirits would appear. Right toward that moment, he suddenly sensed something and gazed up at a world outside the divine kingdom. He smiled and his divine body instantly disappeared from a shrine into the skies above the blazing sun imperial capital.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.